Speke managed to survive so well in a matchup that is bad for him. Like, he basically banned his Lucifer, as you mentioned, and I feel like the matchup-wise, sure, it's in Echo's favor, but the fact that he managed to have pressure in a lane as to Sifei is what kept him in the game, in my opinion, because they were 0-2.
I don't agree with the Sifei being such a bad matchup. Like, with home guards rush, with teleport, he's so easy to land with and just farm safely. Wild cards, red card the wave, it's really easy to actually have good CS, good lane pressure, and always keep the other guy pushed in. It's such a good champion that it's hard to miss, even if you're an assassin.
And it helps when you play him as well as Speke did. Two, I want to point out, Niels, I feel like the two of them are playing tremendously as carry sports. I want to move us ahead to where the even game was won for Origin. The first Baron call that they made.
Well, it really wasn't an even game. Sure, the gold lead was even, but I think what was so great about Origin's call right there was they kind of had to make that because playing around objectives with KT scaling out of control, they had the superior scaling in the late game, and Someday was kind of getting a big lead over SOAS. So I think a bold call like that was necessary to hold them in it. If they didn't do it right then, KT should have probably won that game. But when that Baron call came through, remember, there was a wave at tier 2 in the bottom lane. KT had 4 people in the bottom side jungle. I think they may have been able to take an inhibitor in trade for that Baron, which would have been a better trade for KT. But they decided to run back just like they did against TSM, very similar play. They made it work against TSM. They laid the dollar short.
I have to add as well the fact that Origin actually spent a lot of time around the area, 3 minutes straight from 20 minutes to 23 clearing wards. I think that the play was kind of telegraphed. And sending Kog'Maw to the bottom lane, sure, they might have gotten in him. I think it was a massive blunder to send the Kog'Maw there. I think Someday should have been there, but very well punished by Origin.
Yep. All right, well, with this game closing out Group D for the week, let's take a quick look at the standings. Origin stands undefeated in first place. KT behind them at 2-1. TSM at 1-2. And LGD at 0-3. Gentlemen, this is not the way we expected this group to play out. It's very, very refreshing. You know, as we look forward, Shox asked them how do they expect to keep this momentum moving into week 2, given that all the teams have a little bit of time to assess each other's power level. Origin specifically, how are we looking at them to remain on their undefeated streak?
Just how Mickey said, keep doing what you're doing, and I think the interesting thing that they really focus on is not show too much. At this point, with this level of play, they're almost guaranteed to make it out of group. Probably in first place as well. Don't show too much, make sure that you go into the quarterfinals with a good draft and have a lot of things that you haven't
let's wait out the storm.
Off guard, how they've kept doing it throughout the season.
I'm actually
stay alert.
Let's
move inside.
Because they've had these strategies that are good like once. You kind of figure it out. Maybe balance.
Good idea.
Well, they're going strong. We'll see if they can hold on. That's all the action from Group D for today, but it's on to Group B as the LPL's Invictus Gaming goes up against Westcore and AHQ Esports Club in our next match. Keep it tuned right here because there's more World 2015 when we return.
Damn it!
KT.
Need backup!
Not quite as KT, but they're on the way.
Cocoon connects as well, and Score sinks the bangs. Amazing body slams forwards, yells no. It's a Cocoon, gets knocked down by Nandi. No, he can't trace it.
Boost, run.
Yes!
Oh,
this one, what's he doing up there? Score on that nail's going back in, gets a bit on the Nandi. Origin will place first in Group D. After taking down KT Rolster.
Nothing! There's no one up here! They never make it up this far! Should we head back up to the bunker? Nah, let's wait out the storm. Got it! Stay alert! Need backup! Come back, Lara!
this did not stop me. My duties here are clear. I must learn the truth, but the stories I uncovered defy belief. Rumors abound of the Queen's communing with the spiritual world. They say she commands the sun and the rain, that her lands are abundant by her will alone. This is certainly...
Lara, are you there?
Reyes, did you find Sam?
We're still on her trail.
I'm going to try and send an SOS from an old radio tower up here. Any tips?
Hey, Lara. You're gonna need to find the communications console. It'll look like a bunch of old switchboards.
Okay, I'll let you know when I find it.
Hey, wake up, we got an intruder. Come on, grab her.
Please, you don't need to do this.
She's wounded. Got an angle on her. Get closer. All right, brother. I'm not going out.
Welcome back to our continuing World 2015. Is a clash between the LPL's and the LMS's HQ. Some of the top experts in the LMS scene give us their take on HQ's Jungle Mountain, as well as some of the obstacles in this space on his ongoing quest.
这个我们是区域的，跟其他区域的代表国家代表区域的代表队来比较，我觉得那支队伍整体上面是比较偏向爱打架的队伍。
我觉得 AHQ 的整体 style 来看的话，跟欧洲有一点像，他们打的前期非常的侵略，而且只要能打，他们一定打。
They have a very high CKPM. They kind of play messy games where they're constantly skirmishing and fighting, especially around the bot lane. If you're thinking about Mountain, then he really represents the Cinderhulk meta, the tanky bruiser type of junglers.
那 Mountain 平常在打野的时候，其实可以感觉得出来，他的计划是在游戏前的计划好，然后在游戏的过程中，他并不会有太大的临场反应。
打野风格是在游戏早期的时候，透过视野掌握对方的打野位置，然后发育好自身之后，扩大一些优势。
He does what he wants to do, and sometimes it's to the detriment to his team.
这次比赛，我觉得我需要更全面的去注意到我线上的每个的选手，对，我要时刻的观察他们需要什么，去帮助他们。我现在是右手，就是从我打肉以来就有的伤，就是一个慢性的肌腱炎。然后后来是神经也开始发炎。我复健其实就是我一个礼拜大概要去看2-3次的医生。然后平常练习的时候就是要多休息。
Looks like it might be an electrical problem.
You think?
去年的时候我在台北狙击的队伍的时候，印象很深刻的时候是在新加坡的时候，我们那时候打的是3的资格赛，打到BO5，然后那场我选了李信。对，其实我一直印象很深刻，就是因为我的手伤，其实我那场玩的并不是那么的好，对我造成了很深的遗憾，因为那场我们输了。然后。在今年我来到了 AHQ， 我一开始是在板凳的位置，然后直到后来我然后我就是跟着我的队友们，我们一路就是后看战将，到最后我们今年踏上了世界的舞台，然后我真的很开心，我今年可以站上这个舞台。
在每个选手的心中，应该有一个梦想，就是能够参与世界赛。
这次世界赛上，我觉得来自世界各地的人，每个打野都是一流的好手，所以我觉得我可能需要针对他们的一些弱点去突破。
我也很期待这两支队伍在世界舞台上面跟其他队伍发生的火花。
Dr. James Whitman, filler 15, take 3,
there is no higher competition.
No,
and I
take a full
believe
grip.
This is the stage
And
where
slice them down the belly. Like
legends
this.
are born.
Yeah, you got.
Cut!
You know, the way they talk about Mountain, specifically how he comes into the game with a plan and can sometimes be to the detriment of his team, really speaks to the way of AHQ's playstyle in that they're slow to adapt. So when you come in with a plan and you're not very good at adapting on the fly, is obvious in the 2 games that they saw, in which they take a lot of time to understand how the games are going out, what the team compositions that the enemies bring out, and you know that's a worrying thing for AHQ that they're so slow to
I'm meant to be bringing culture
IG just
to
brings
people. Say I'm not
fresh
dinner
to the table. They might put up a good fight.
No offense, Joe.
Well, that being said, yesterday AHQ did have a good come-from-behind win against Fnatic, so the question is whether or not they found their form in this tournament and can kind of carry that momentum.
Yeah, and I think that's a great question. We saw Clement in that video, one of the LMS casters, talking about how Mountain is a player that is a Cinderhulk
Dr.
player,
James
and yet
Whitman,
he came
filler
out
15, take
with
4.
the Rengar.
With the Rengar.
And looked very uncomfortable on it in the first game. Then they mixed it up. They went back to a more, what I imagine is more of an AHQ style, and then they pulled out a win here. That's what I want to see again. I think that this is where AHQ is strong. Don't try and be something you're not.
And of course,
you ran up and showed it to me just in your penguin pajamas.
In terms for IG, I've been complaining a lot about the draft, but I think in this particular match, the draft is kind of clashes because Rookie has been blind picking these melee assassins in lane, and I think that is the matchup we have to watch.
Now, there was a man that ran on instinct.
Well, let's pop over to IG then yesterday. Again, a blunder for them. 0-2 now starting off the tournament, but there's still ways to go. They still have time.
If this matchup was in Twisted Treeline with only Kakao, Rookie, and Satai, I would side with IG every single time.
All right, next year at Worlds, we'll have a separate 3v3 tournament.
But I mean, I think they have to just figure out a way to isolate Kid and Kitties into something that is safe and can bring something to the team that doesn't require a lot of execution. Like these guys are holding the team at Janacore, just play that, it's so easy.
I mean, they tried that last game when they picked Sivir, where basically they just needed Kid to hit his ult at the right time. He couldn't even really manage that because he was out of position using the On the Hunt just to run away. So in this matchup, when we compare these duo lanes, Kid and Kitties, Ann and Albus, look how well Ann and Albus played on that Jinx Tom Kench played in their last match versus Fnatic. This is something that no one else has shown yet. This is the AHQ special right now, and I want to see it again.
Yamato, real quick, I want you to elaborate on this mid-lane matchup that you spoke of and what might be the key factors in it.
So, of course, we have these 2 teams that kind of have shown that they are on the mid lane and have these picks that are kind of We've seen it a lot from the Chinese team before. But it has been not working simply because teams have been taking range. And Western has shown all the time he's been playing that fit. So I think these are these matches that are very explosive and very dynamic. And those are the matchups that are impacting the game most.
All right, well, maybe and the stage is set to some rather legendary.
Fizz once again. Before we get to that new that two players that everyone's talking about, Kid and Kitties, with their coach, Sun Young.
And maybe not for that reason, unfortunately. Esports club are being a in the top lane. From Mountain earlier there in the feature, we'll see how he can play. Westall, the big player for this team out of the mid lane, on the AD carry with a great game yesterday. And there's, of course, Albus in support and their coach backstairs.
Big player for AHQ, but really, I don't think that's necessarily true. He's a big name, but as far as the way they play it, just it's totally around. As not playing, he did more damage than all Westeros damage. The whole I really think this AHQ is
I'm excited to see the ID battle. They're 1 and 3 when it comes to CSD at TSD. We've been able to do two of them. And we can see the kills and the time range. The
both banned away. This could leave certain picks open. As far as Chinese teams go, it's probably not Rookie or Zatai's favorite champion because it's not very aggressive. They're very aggressive players, but certainly an option here for IG.
Yeah, it's interesting. I liked how IG is so heavily just target banning things that did well for AHQ yesterday. And Westor's not the type of player to play the Lulu, as well as Ziv wants to carry the game, and he's not going to be able to do that on Lulu. Therefore, it does let IG do the same thing. Maybe we see a carry top from Zatai and a Lulu in the mid lane from Rookie. That could be the strongest thing for them to do.
We'll see if Invictus agree. For AHQ, taking a look at the Tristana, it was the Tristana that actually beat Invictus when it was in the hands of Sneaky. Invictus Gaming got pushed around, and Tristana got so big. We'll swap away.
Oh, that.
So it will be the Tristana that will be in hands.
Maybe they actually could. How many are there? They just cycle them until lost in one. Because that was the latest switch back to a champ that I'd ever seen really at Worlds for sure. But they go for Trist.
I'd like to not see Bod again from Kitties. I think yesterday it did not offer a whole lot.
Yeah, we didn't see him yesterday either.
And
nowhere to be found on that.
There we go. That's basically what it felt like. And it was frustrating, especially talking to Crapper after the game regarding all the possibilities of things that could have happened. So for Kitties, maybe taking that threshold.
Just want to play around Rookie and counter. Back to basics really for this team. And each trying to pick up a win. Haven't got one yet here. Chinese team in the first half of the group. Really not doing very well. I think it was Shen and
yeah, unless it's another support champ, there's a possibility. Flex pick. So IG really keeping their options open. I like the Callista for now, but unfortunately that is on what has been a weakness for IG so far.
There are so few flex picks left. It's nice to have that, but with Braum still up and available, you have to think somebody's going to grab that, or at least think about it. Such a powerful support pick on this patch.
Important to note as well that Lulu might actually drop through this draft with the way these players like to play. I feel like Westo, like you mentioned, Jack, isn't going to be able to play to pick it up here. And Rookie might just want to be like, you know what, if you're taking an aggressive champion, best believe I'm taking an aggressive champion.
Especially with Shen already locked in.
Yeah.
Like, how heavy would you want to go in to protect the kid team composition? It just seems highly unlikely, so I think you're absolutely right about that.
Oh, that's Thresh. Actually, picked already, I believe, for AHQ, so did want that. Really comfortable for Albus. Westor needs an assassin, does find Ari as his champion.
Going back to a safer pick, maybe, than that Fizz. Something that he has played most recently in the summer playoffs, in fact, when he was going